Hi, my name is Vivian. I go to Boothbay Region Elementary School. Why does fog form?
Ooh, fog. That's a good one, Vivian. Fog is an interesting one, and if you stop and think about it, it's actually the air can't hold any more moisture in the gas phase, so it converts it over to liquid. And that liquid, you say it's liquid, but it's fog? Well, these are very tiny droplets that are suspended in the air. So how does it form? Well, again, the fog, the air itself can't hold any more moisture. Here's the gotcha though. Different temperatures of air hold different amounts of moisture. And as the air gets colder, it can't hold as much moisture. So on a night where the sky is clear and the calm winds, the air cools down. And when the air cools down, it hits a point where it can't hold that moisture anymore. And all of a sudden, the air vapor is actually converted over to tiny droplets, and that's fog. The next morning, when the temperature warms up, well, now the air can hold more of this and it's converted back into a gas and you don't see it. Terry, Kathleen?
All right, good to know. Roger, thank you so much. The fight to preserve the king of rock and roll's legacy continues on tonight. A judge now pausing the foreclosure sale of Elvis Presley's Graceland mansion.
This comes after Presley's granddaughter sued to try to stop the sale. ABC's Jacqueline Lee joins us now to share what comes next.
In a quick 8-minute hearing, a Tennessee judge paused the sale of Elvis Presley's famed Graceland estate with the validity of a signature coming into question. A company, referred to in court papers as Nosny Investments and Private Lending, claims Lisa Marie Presley, Elvis Presley's sole child, who died in 2023, used the deed as collateral for a $3.8 million loan and never paid it back. The company put a lien on the house and planned to auction it this week. A notary appeared in court Wednesday saying they've never met Lisa Marie and did not notarize her signature on alleged loan documents.
This is an incredibly rare transaction where Lisa Marie Presley allegedly borrows $3.8 million from a private equity group as opposed to a bank. And that's what's called a non-judicial foreclosure.
But Presley's granddaughter, Riley Keough, stepped in, stating the documents were fraudulent, filing a lawsuit claiming Lisa Marie never took out a loan and the documents were forged, including an affidavit from the notary on some of the documents saying, "I have never met Lisa Marie Presley, nor have I ever notarized a document signed by Lisa Marie Presley."
What we're going to see is there's going to be some evidentiary hearings. They are going to have to put on all of the information for both sides, why they feel as though this sale was fraudulent. They're going to have witnesses come up.
Elvis Presley purchased Graceland in 1957, and Lisa Marie inherited it after he died in 1977. She turned it into a museum honoring her father, a tourist attraction that brings in millions of people a year. She spoke to Diane Sawyer in 2003, opening up about what Graceland means to her.
Does Graceland seem like another world away, or does it still seem like home?
It's kind of a sad thing, a life that existed there at one time in the history and there was so much life, but it's still home to me very much when I'm there.
ABC News reached out to both Riley Keough and Nosny Investments, and so far no comment on either side. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, Los Angeles.
The scorching hot conditions that's causing monkeys now to fall out of trees, but many others in Mexico are being rescued. What that rehabilitation work looks like for a country as they endure a brutal heat wave. Well, I can't be the only one. I had to check the calendar today because there's no way it's May 22nd, not July 22nd with this weather,
Or
right?
August.
We'll take it as a bonus day. I say anytime you get this weather before Memorial Day, it's just bonus days. It's sort of, we used to say skiing before Thanksgiving were always bonus days as well. So it kind of falls in the same category, whether you're a winter sports enthusiast or you're loving the summertime warmth. That's what we've got out there right now, warmth. And Portland Skycam showing a little bit of cloudiness, 78 degrees. The wind has kicked up this afternoon and coming around a little more to the south, and that has allowed temperatures to drift out of the 80s back into the 70s. And it's quite gusty, 25 miles per hour. So there's your sea breeze. But inland areas where you don't feel that breeze, Sanford's 88. Look at Freiburg at 90 degrees. Bethel is at 90. Rumford, Farmington, all reporting 90 degrees as of 5 o'clock. But Rockland at 76. The ocean keeping us cooler. So not much happening. Not anticipating thunderstorm activity this afternoon. There may be an isolated pop-up shower, but very, very isolated, and most areas will miss out completely. Now tomorrow we've got the warmth and the mugginess again on top of us. And with cold front approaching, more likely to see showers and thunderstorms developing during the afternoon. Here's tonight. There could be some storms to the north. And tomorrow we start things off with partly sunny skies, and it's warm again. And here come the storms. Now, don't focus on where this is located, because this may be down here, it might be back here, it might be over here. The idea is that tomorrow during the afternoon hours, we've got showers and thunderstorms developing as that cold front comes through. Overnight lows tonight, 60s, pretty much doing it across the board. Mid 60s in Windham, Freeport down to about 59. High temperatures tomorrow. Once again, the mid-coast will be cooler with readings only in the 60s, but boy, you don't have to get too far inland. You're back up into the 80s. Freiburg down to Sanford. 8-day forecast then. Friday we're up close to 80, but the humidity is dropping. You're going to notice that dryness in the air. Saturday, Sunday, start the holiday weekend off in decent shape. Either side of 70 degrees. Clouds and showers, though, looking a little more likely. Right now we'll go with possible, but we have to up that forecast as Monday gets closer. Mainly clear. Showers across the far north, but otherwise it's a comfortable night. Enjoy. 82 tomorrow. A few morning passing showers. Better chance of seeing those thunderstorms during the afternoon. It's warm again. There's your 8-day forecast. Not much in the way of rain for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Kathleen?
All right, Roger, thank you. A fire at the fire station in Stacyville. Officials say this started just before 9 last night. Crews from several departments put out the flames quickly, but there is extensive damage to the building and the equipment, including the fire engines. Investigators say the fire started on a shelf inside the station where several lithium-ion batteries were charging at the time. A firefighter had to be treated for a leg injury. A brutal heat wave in Mexico has now been linked to the deaths of at least 26 people. Around a third of that country saw highs of 113 degrees this week.
And the conditions there are impacting wildlife as well. Officials say it's so hot in Mexico that dozens, perhaps hundreds of howler monkeys are falling dead from the trees. Others are rescued by residents and then rushed to local veterinarians who've been putting ice on their limp hands and feet and then hooking them up to IV drips with electrolytes. So far, the monkeys appear to be on the mend. One volunteer say that they have started biting again, which is a good sign for a typically aggressive species of creatures. Trillions of the longest living insect on the planet are emerging in 17 states across the Midwest and the Southeast.
We're talking about the emergence of cicadas. 2 broods are coming out of the ground at the same time, the first time since 1803. The rare emergence means that some of the animals at Chicago's Brookfield Zoo are getting some variety in their diet. Footage from the zoo shows the monkeys, meerkats, and roadrunners chowing down on the protein-filled snack, and they seem to be enjoying them. I'm sure people there said, more for you.
They're definitely enjoying them.
Good for you.
They're putting that food down quick. It's tough to imagine a fruit sweeter than a pineapple, but Del Monte thinks that they may have found one. It took Del Monte 15 years to develop what they call the Ruby Glow pineapple, named after its reddish hue. The talking point here, though, about this fruit is the price tag. $400, so you're probably not going to find them in those fruit cups at the grocery store. This is only sold by specialty fruit vendors. It's already sold out. Given that early success, it's likely that you'll be able to find Ruby Glows for far less in a few years. We can hope.
Yeah, one can only hope, right? Well, a new airline catered to dogs is about to take off. Starting tomorrow, Bark Air will carry dogs of all sizes and their human companions on routes from New York, Los Angeles, and London. The airline said its goal is to offer an alternative to traveling by air, which is often really stressful if you're bringing a dog with you. The service has been pretty popular already. 15,000 requests coming in for new destinations.
Would love to have my dog on a flight. I don't think she would like it, though.
It would just be for you.
It would just be for me. She's here for me.
Yeah.
Westbrook is revitalizing and expanding their downtown, and that includes their Riverwalk. City recently received a $4 million grant from the Environmental Protection Agency. That money will be used to repair the wood and then clean up along the existing Riverwalk. The city recently acquired land near the river, which was previously owned by Sappi. The end goal, according to the mayor, is to expand the Riverwalk to create a 2-mile pedestrian loop in downtown.
We want people to be living and playing in our downtown, and so an essential part of that is having a downtown that's attractive and brings people down.
The city does need to fundraise an additional $2 to $4 million to complete the project.
8 weeks after the Baltimore Bridge collapse, residents are afraid to drive across other bridges in the city. We'll show you how a chauffeur service is now cashing in on commuters' phobias.
In Baltimore, the wreckage from the Key Bridge collapse has now been removed. The cargo ship that crashed into it 8 weeks ago has finally been hauled away. It's a key step forward to fully reopening the critical port. But the 21-person crew from India and Sri Lanka, they're still stuck on the vessel. Their visas have expired. It's unclear when the ship's crew will be able to return home.
And since the Key Bridge collapse, business has doubled for a chauffeur service that drives people across Baltimore's Bay Bridge. People say that they're nervous about doing it themselves.
Can't blame them, and they are willing to pay up to ease their phobia. John Gonzalez has that story.
So where are you leaving from?
So we'll be coming back later this afternoon
from the Eastern Shore back across to Annapolis.
Stephen Askew has owned the Kent Island Express for the past 11 years, and he doesn't remember a busier time. It's a service that chauffeurs people who have a severe phobia of the Bay Bridge.
It's really the fear of driving over the bridge. I never used to have it, and then I had a really big panic attack going westbound one time, and I was done after that.
Jean Page is a customer who uses the service at least twice a week. What's interesting is that she hasn't always had the fear of driving across.
The westbound lanes, they have the open rails, so it's a little bit scarier, I guess. I can ride in the car in the passenger seat.
For the past 8 weeks since the Key Bridge collapse, Stephen says the rides usually now come with a lot of questions like, could that happen here?
Some of them don't like the height of the bridge. Some of them don't like the fact that the bridge turns. A lot of them don't like the fact that they can't see the crest of the bridge when they're going over. They feel like they're falling off. I kind of coined that the Christopher Columbus fear.
The phobia is so real, at no cost, Stephen supplies his customers with these for people who won't even look out the window.
These are drive-over masks for people. My wife made these.
A warm and stuffy night out there. Temperatures only falling back into the 60s. Another round of showers and storms tomorrow. Coming up, a look at where they may become strong to severe.
The mother of a Freeport teenager who died by suicide has a message for parents.
Our kids are struggling.
Seasonal businesses are ramping up for summer, and they tell us for the first time in years, staffing isn't an issue.
Staffing in 2024 is way better than it has been for the past several years.
You're watching Channel 8 WMTW. Maine's total coverage starts right now.
Good evening on this warm Wednesday night. Thanks for being with us at 6. I'm John Corey.
And I'm Megan Torgeson. Plenty of sunshine combined with high temperatures and humidity outside today. It's
certainly
nice.
A solid beach day out there. Real taste of summer. More on the way for tomorrow. Let's get over to Chief Meteorologist Roger Griswold. Roger, if you'd like a early taste of summer, this was it, huh?
This is it, absolutely. And take it all in. We got a nice looking evening unfolding out there. Today, we're not worried about showers or thunderstorms. That will change tomorrow during the afternoon. Baldwin Skycam, just a couple of fair weather clouds. It's all about the temperature today. And look at Portland, 6 o'clock. We are 15 degrees warmer than we were yesterday at this time. Had to do with the sea breeze yesterday and that change in a wind direction today. Inland area, Sanford, 19 degrees warmer, and Freiburg is up 10 degrees. Actual numbers as of 6 o'clock, 89 in Freiburg, mid-80s in Sanford, Portsmouth. Now, Portland is cooling back down to 77 after reaching a high of 84 this afternoon because a late afternoon sea breeze has developed. Now, on the radar, this is not rain shower activity. It's actually the leading edge of that sea breeze. So there's not much happening. We'll continue to keep an eye on the mountains. There may be a flare-up of a shower in 1 or 2 locations over the next couple of hours. Most of the action, though, is out over western New York State, and that will be on top of us tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening in the form of a cold front, which will bring some drier air here and slightly cooler temperatures for Friday. Storm tracker tonight, isolated showers hugging the international border, and there's your action for tomorrow. Don't focus on the location here because it might be to the north, it might be to the south. The idea is that the potential is there for afternoon storms to develop. Overnight lows tonight, warm, stuffy, feeling like summer with lows only in the 60s. High temperatures tomorrow, maybe a little bit cooler than what we saw today. Still mid 80s will do it in Sanford, Freiburg, Bethel up to about 80, Portland headed to about 82. So another warm day tomorrow with showers and storms possible. Now, more seasonable temperatures. Our normal high temperature should be back in the 60s. We'll talk more about that and look for those cooler readings to return over the weekend as we look at the 8-day forecast in just a couple of minutes. John, Megan.
All right, Roger, thank you. The future of Lewiston's annual Great Falls Balloon Fest is up in the air. Organizers announcing this morning that this year's event was canceled.
But as Bonnie Bishop reports here tonight, the city of Lewiston is already trying to step in and help.
The Great Falls Balloon Festival is supposed to be held here in Lewiston this summer. That was until organizers announced this morning that they would be canceling the event. But the city of Lewiston is not ready to pull the plug just yet.
It's a festival full of food, music, and fun-shaped hot air balloons.
but the annual event is facing concerns over resources. The festival is a huge hit in the community, bringing in roughly 100,000 attendees annually and around $2 million in local impact of the economy. The city of Lewiston sent a proposal to the festival's organizers this morning, not long after they announced the cancellation, offering administrative, logistical, and operational support.
With all that these communities have experienced over the last 6 to 8 months, events like this, bringing people together, are really important for all of us.
Nate Libby is the city's Assistant Director of Economic and Community Development, and he says the event is iconic for the Twin Cities. Lewiston hopes to have the event from August 18th to the 20th, as originally planned. If the festival does end up being held this August, it'll mark its 30th celebration. In Lewiston, I'm Bonnie Bishop for Maine's Total Coverage.
The mother of a Freeport teen whose disappearance and death shook the community in 2022, sharing her story tonight for the first time.
Mia Ferrara says her son Theo Ferrara died by suicide, and as Terry Stackhouse reports, she hopes her insight will help other families with teens in crisis.
Sitting in her counselor's office along the Androscoggin River in Topsom, Mia Ferrara describes her oldest child, Theo, as sweet, smart, and athletic.
You could have looked in an auditorium full of kids, and I can guarantee you that no one in that room would have pointed to Theo and said that he was the one that was going to die by suicide.
In September 2022, after getting off the school bus and before a soccer practice, Theo left the family's Freeport home and was seen walking on Flying Point Road near the border with Brunswick.
He was being picked up for soccer. I wanted to make sure he had something to eat before he went. Is when I first realized he was gone. And then I realized that his phone was in the house and he was gone.
Over several days, multiple agencies searched by land, air, and water.
I really did not know where he was. I did not know that he was suicidal.
On Tuesday, September 27th, Ferrara's body was found in McCoy Bay. Mia has found some comfort in connecting with other grieving families and offering support.
Being able to sit with families that have lost kids to suicide when they're, when it's just recently happened has, I feel like, been helpful to them, but it also helps me.
Stacy Jenkins is a counselor specializing in grief and loss. She helps establish boundaries and build relationships with parents and teens.
But if you take the time to say, hey, I know you're in the middle of something right now. At some point tonight, can I just have 10 minutes of your time, uninterrupted, tech-free? Can we just sit together?
Mia has 2 other children, and her approach to parenting has evolved.
Our kids are struggling, and it's so important to stop focusing on, having them reach their best potential and doing their best and getting their best grades. It is so much more important to understand what your kids are doing for their own mental health. What do they do when they're upset? To ask them, are you suicidal? Have you thought about hurting yourself?
Remember, help is always available. You could reach the Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 988. Maine also has crisis receiving centers and mobile crisis response teams. We have links to information on our website.
You have to keep the conversation happening. Because when you're that low, you think no one can help you.
If you or your teen needs help but are struggling to find a provider, Jenkins has some tips. First, start by contacting your pediatrician. They can help guide the process finding an appropriate provider. Use your social network to ask for a referral. Reach out to a school nurse or guidance counselor. They can offer immediate support and help navigating the search. Mia tells us Theo was kind and hopes we can learn from that, too.
I think that Theo would have, he would have wanted everyone to put their phones down and to connect, which you don't hear from many teens, but that's what he would have wanted.
That was Terry Stackhouse reporting. Make sure you tune in to Maine's Total Coverage all month long as we bring you stories about mental health awareness. And on May 29th, we'll be airing our mental health special that's live at 8 p.m.
More news now here tonight at 6. Police looking for a suspect who they say left a 6-month-old kitten inside a plastic bin with the cover on it. The feline was found Saturday in the parking lot of Bonnie Eagle High School in Standish. Officials say she was cold and terrified and had to be euthanized. Investigators are looking for the man suspected of abandoning the kitten. He was in a white Chevy pickup truck with a black tailgate. It is equipped for a plow. And in Poland, police say the driver of a big rig accused of destroying utility poles, downing wires, and then taking off has now come forward and is cooperating with that investigation. It happened around 2 this morning on North Raymond Road and Cassie Lane. A witness telling police the truck was too big and ripped wires down all along Cassie Lane. Then the driver took a look at the damage and drove away, they say. CMP says it'll cost about $15,000 to fix.
Casco Bay Lines has proposed to dramatically increase its ferry rates, but now residents are speaking out against the change. Kate McCusker is live by the Casco Bay Lines, and Kate, the State Public Utilities Commission is now getting involved in this.
That's right. 50 residents and visitors have signed a petition to the Maine Public Utilities Commission, spurring an investigation into this rate change. Now, this is the first time in 15 years that the Casco Bay Lines are increasing their ticket prices, but they're also decreasing the cost for annual pass holders. Although some residents support this change, other residents are speaking out, saying it will make travel unaffordable, and they argue it could deter visitors and hurt businesses.
And we're local. We live here. My kids were born and raised here. I don't think that any one of my children should ever have to spend $14 to get home.
Casco Bay Lines has not yet returned my request for a comment, but when I spoke with the finance chair ahead of the change last month, she said this is an effort to make ferry service safe and reliable while also benefiting those who live and work and rely on the ferry service. Live on Peaks Island, I'm Kate McCusker for Maine's Total Coverage.
All right, Kate, thank you. One of the biggest challenges for seasonal businesses as we head towards summer is staffing for the season.
And in recent years, as we know, it's certainly been hard to find workers, but this year, businesses say things are looking much better. Connor Clement joins us live from Portland. And Connor, the businesses you spoke with today say they are ready to meet that demand.
Yeah, that's exactly right, John. The businesses I spoke to tell me that their staffing numbers this season heading into the summer are as good as they've been in the past few years. They're optimistic of a busy summer season right here in Portland, where Wallet Hub just ranked the city the 4th best place to get a summer job. Portland Lobster Company, which serves up delicious lobster and drinks on the water all summer long, is also seeing a big improvement in staffing and lots of returning workers. One of the largest seasonal employers in the state, Funtown Splashtown in Saco, they're ready to make waves over the next few months as well. Their general manager told me the theme park has over 500 employees ready to roll for the summer, a big increase over last year's staffing.
Our thing, number one, always is going to be safety in this industry. Number two is going to be guest satisfaction, and you need enough employees to be able to handle both of those things. You have to have supervisors to have their eyes on things. You got to have people that are there to help the guests. So being up to maximum capacity as far as our team members is absolutely critical.
Yeah, the Maine Tourism Association is predicting a lot of visitors here in Maine this summer, so if businesses are fully staffed up, it should be a big summer for all involved. Reporting live on the waterfront tonight, Connor Clement for Maine's Total Coverage.
Connor, thank you. Also want to let you know about this. A new boating law on the books in Maine. Anyone under the age of 25 has to take a boater education course before getting behind the wheel. Here's Jim Keithley with those details.
What a day to be out on the water. A boater is taking to Sebago Lake as the temperatures soared. Rex and his owner abiding by the safety laws, both wearing life jackets. Did you know that Maine has a new boating law on the books?
Again, anybody born after January 1st, 1999, operating a boat 25 horsepower or more, regardless of how many years you've been boating, will be required to take this boater education course.
It's a 6-hour course you can take online or in person. The folks over at Goodhue Boat Company, right on Route 302 in Raymond, think this new law is a good idea.
Being able to understand the markers, being able to understand channel markers, buoys, safety buoys, and just that overall awareness.
I think the more people we have educated on boater safety, the safer our waters are going to be.
Game wardens will be using this holiday weekend as an opportunity to get out on the water, conduct safety checks, and to remind boaters of this new law. Not to worry, though, they're only going to educate you, remind you, before issuing any citations. I'm Jim Keithley for Maine's Total Coverage.
Take a walk, the Riverwalk Improvement Project in Westbrook, and where the funding is coming from.
Plus, Beach Battle, the expanding opposition to make Moody Beach and Wells available to everyone, not just the waterfront homeowners.
And as we look ahead toward tomorrow, thunderstorms likely to develop during the afternoon. They may contain some gusty winds. Hail also a concern. Not looking for any kind of tornado activity, but Flash flooding still categorized as low if we get a couple of them over the same spot. Total look at the forecast. We're keying in on the weekend weather as well. I'll have it for you right after the break.
Total weather.
Weather at your school here at Boothbay Region Elementary School, hanging out with the second graders. You guys have fun? Yeah!
Both Ted and Victoria out there getting kids excited about science and meteorology. Love to see it. Portland Skycam, hey, we got to 84 degrees this afternoon. We've had a fair amount of clouds mixing with the sunshine from time to time. 77 right now. We've had a sea breeze develop at the coastline, but throughout much of the day it was out of the southwest, and that's what allowed Portland to get to 84. Inland areas, there were some spots, many spots actually, that nudged 90. Places like Freiburg are now down to 89, but they were up to 90. Bethel hit 90 at 88 now. Farmington, even as of 6 o'clock, checking in at 90 degrees. Now along the mid-coast, we saw readings in the 70s. Once again, that sea breeze cooling the islands, peninsulas, pretty much all the way back up to about Route 1. Now right now we're looking at